You're listening to Dungeons and Drama Nerds, a podcast exploring the intersection of theater and tabletop role-playing games.
All right, so to show off some of the end of session stuff, let's talk real quick on the recording about the session end, so for some history stuff. So each of you choose a character who you think knows you better than they used to. If there's more than one, choose at your whim. Tell that player to add +1 to their Hicks with you on their sheet.
I think my Hicks is, I think Sydney knows me better than he did before. Yeah, because we had a nice moment where I was very vulnerable with him.
I think it's actually just that player, not both of you. So it's just Sydney adds +1 to Hicks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So Sydney, who do you think knows you better than they used to?
I want to say AZ Honey here. Yeah, regrettably, I didn't get too much interaction time with Vector. I was hoping to get a little bit, but it felt like we were like pulled in separate directions for a little while there. So and we'll like easily get brought together in the next session. But I do feel like AZ Honey, like we got to spend a bit more like quality time. Like they opened up to me about their nightmares that they were having because of my plant tech. They encouraged me to take a different stance on strangers, and because I was clearly very afraid of Borug at first, and they encouraged me to be more respectful towards like other people as well, and I think that's increased our trust. So
sweet. So AZ Honey, add +1 to Sydney. AZ Honey, how do you feel? Who do you feel is closer to you now?
Probably Vector, because he knows not to keep me in the dark so much with a lot of things.
All right. Well, Vector, go ahead and add +1 to your Hicks. All right. And Vector, who do you feel knows you better than they used to?
I think AZ. They were the one who, I think they, clearly see a little bit more just how willing I am to lie to get what I want and to cheat to get what I want. So they know, like, the bad side of me now in an interesting way.
All right, so if anyone has over +4, go ahead and reset it. So just subtract 4 from it. It would normally reset to 1, so subtract 3 from whatever your total is right now. We'll give you rollover. And mark experience if you do that.
Okay, I improve, and also I get 2 more improvements.
Nice.
I'm going to get 1 more hot.
1 more hot? Yes.
Yeah.
Is there anyone who is not known better? I feel like, Vance, did you mark +1 for anyone?
I didn't. Gotcha.
Then choose a character who doesn't know you as well as they thought. Or choose any character at your whim. They take -1.
I think AZ probably doesn't. Well, I just feel like we don't know each other that well at all.
Great. So AZ, take -1 to that with Vance. It'll be sort of like you got to know Vance a little better. You understand them a little more. And as you have learned stuff, it's actually now confusing. You're like, wait a minute. You know, if that makes sense. So when you have this history with them now, and you're like, I have learned about them, but now I'm a little more confused than I was before, now that we've reached this next stage of thing. And so you actually take a little step down.
Great.
I think that's how I want to read that.
Cool.
I also finished an improvement track. I'm going to take a new move. I'm going to take Devil with a Blade. So when you use a blade to go aggro, roll +hot instead of +hard. And everyone, all the Maester Ds come with a blade. So my blade is a whip, because I went along with like the sex work BDSM idea. But on the back of it, there's like a sharp, like jagged point. So it is so I have that ready because I have a feeling that I may have to defend myself soon, and so I wanna have that prepped.
Yeah.
Oh god. Oh.
Y'all were so stressed. I was so happy.
I'm so stressed. I'm still stressed.
Well, because, it was a sort of like, yay, everyone's having a happy time, but I was laying out all these little portents for you.
Well, it felt like things were building up the whole time, and then they just, like, happened at the end there, so.
Everything happened.
So thank you all.
I am so pumped for my new move.
What's your new move again?
I took Devil with a Blade. When you use a blade to go aggro, roll +hot instead of hard. And I'm excited for whatever combat we get thrown into so I can kill things. Or go aggro with things.
Meanwhile, I simply chose to make myself hotter.
All right, so here we are. Why is this age worse than earlier ages? In a stupor of grief and dread, have we not fingered the foulest wounds and left them unhealed by our hands? In the west, the falling light still glows, and the clustered housetops glitter in the sun. But here, death is already chalking the doors with crosses and calling the ravens, and the ravens are flying in. We open with Sandra O seated across from AZ Honey. And the last thing Sandra O said was, I have some questions for you. AZ, as you are beginning to take stock of the situation, you watch as she slides her hand across the floor next to the candle that you've been meditating by, and she lifts it up to reveal that there's a small package there. And she smiles, her Sandra O smile, and says, consider this a gift.
I take the package and I open it. I don't take my eyes off of her.
It is, as you open up the package, you see inside, very carefully packaged to avoid any sort of damage, you can tell the package is fragile, is a half carton of eggs.
Whoa.
I ask, have you been following me?
And she shrugs sort of nonchalantly and said, that's neither here nor there. I simply heard you had a want.
And what precisely do you want?
I simply wanted to make my presence known, to make contact. I have some questions about your employer, Vector.
What kind of questions?
Well, since you're being so forthright, I shall be as well. Do you know precisely what the relationship is between Vance, Holliday, and Vector? I notice Z has been coming here quite frequently, and we were wondering what that connection might be.
Yeah, we park here. Vance hosts us. That's the relationship.
No further insight than that, I see.
Not at the moment.
Why temptation, with so many other holes?
It's new. It's bustling. It's got a lot of people from a lot of different places. It's attractive to people looking to settle down.
It is that diversity that interests us.
Interests us?
Us, yes. I am obviously not working alone.
I don't know what's obvious, sweetheart. Who are you working for?
That's not on the table, unfortunately. Not at this time. Unless you have some eggs to return.
I take one egg out of the carton and offer it to Sandra O.
And she'll gently take that and smile. And I like you. And she sort of slips it into another container in her package, or in her little satchel. She says, I have many employers. Today, this was one Jacqueline Phan. You know her perhaps as the mistress of Hightown Market.
Mm-hmm.
Myself and a few others are here. I am choosing to reveal myself because I feel that might be beneficial at this time.
Yeah, I didn't catch your name, did I?
No one has yet.
That's unfortunate.
Yes, you may call me Lily.
Lily. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you as well, AZ Honey. Well, I must thank you for your hospitality and for your candor. If I have more questions, I shall come to you with more eggs.
Did you say that there were more of you working for Jacqueline here?
Yes?
Care to shed any light on their names? And I offer one more egg.
She'll gently place her hand on the egg and push it back towards you. And she goes, not at this time. All in due time, my dear, all in due time. I assure you, our intentions are not as nefarious as you think they might be.
Ooh, how nefarious do you think I think your intentions are?
From the way you are talking to me so evasively, I suspect you think we are quite ignoble in our intent.
Sorry. I did never know how to talk pretty.
It's all well and good. The people of the Junkway are often quite suspicious. Anyone could be a raider in disguise. But hopefully I am proving a bit more erudite than your average raider.
And you know I'm from the Junkway. Just how long have you been on the job?
Just how long have I been on the job?
This job, following me and Troca.
Not too terribly long, really. But I do read dossiers, if that helps.
So I got a dossier now.
Oh, you all do?
I guess I should be flattered.
Very much so. Not everyone has the honor of a dossier in our files.
Can I read a sitch / a person?
Sure can. Go ahead and roll.
Great. I got a 9.
A 9. You may ask one of the questions there. So your questions are, where's my best escape route, way in or way past? Which enemy is most vulnerable to me? Which enemy is the biggest threat? What should I be on the lookout for? What's my enemy's true position? And who's in control here?
What's my enemy's true position?
What's your enemy's true position? I think there is truth in what she's saying, that she's not as nefarious as you might think she is. She is shady, certainly, but not necessarily up to anything ill, at least at the moment. She seems genuinely interested in getting to know you and asking questions.
Okay.
But you will notice very, very clearly that she waited until you were not with Vector to approach you.
Good to know.
Yes, you have read the sitch.
Yes. Okay. I say, so I imagine you'll be calling on me again when you need more information?
Perhaps. It is simply nice to know one has an avenue.
Well, call me Avs.
I shall not. I shall do no such thing, AZ, honey.
Right. Yeah, that's fair.
But, nevertheless, it is a pleasure to meet your acquaintance. We will, depending on your agenda tomorrow, I'm not sure quite where you're headed, but next time you're in temptation, I may come calling. I'll be sure to have more gifts.
You be sure to do that.
Take care. And she very plainly stands and begins to leave. Like, no showiness. And with that, she sort of disappears around the corner and out of Troca and into the night.
Great.
All right, and we will cut on over to Sydney and our friend Borug, who are both bleeding after having been stabbed with knives.
Oh, no.
As people are wont to do when they are stabbed with knives. So yeah, Sydney, what's going on with you? Someone just jumped off your plants, scattering them everywhere, through a window and ran off into the night after injuring you and your new friend Borug, the shark-toothed man.
Well, if I remember, I kind of passed out when I realized that my favorite shirt had been pierced by a knife. So I assume I have woken since then, yeah?
Okay, so then let's go ahead and fast forward through the morning. I just wanted to see if there's anything you wanted to do. You're going to wake up in the clinic where the resident angel, Honey Malone, is tending over both you and Borug, who appear to be sharing a bed. You are both sort of like in like sort of these patchwork hospital robes, but you are in a bed and Honey Malone is tending both of you. Borug appears to still be asleep. But you both have been narco stabbed, so you're feeling kind of high at the moment. There is a sort of pleasant, sort of like opioid dream. You had weird dreams last night from the narco stabbing. Not altogether unpleasant ones, just very bizarre. I want to say like non-Euclidean. Oh yeah, staying in an infirmary and there's only one bed.
Did we skimp on the budget for the infirmary? I feel very close to this person right now. Honey Malone!
As you call out for Honey, As you outwardly monologue when you awaken, Honey comes over and goes, yeah.
I could use some assistance getting back to my lab. I have to find out if that person made off with any specimens.
Oh, sweetie baby, no, you're not going anywhere right now. You currently have a hole in your chest that I'm working on?
Oh. Could you maybe work on it while we walked to the laboratory?
She sort of leans over and gives you a little tap on the cheek and smiles and says, no. And sort of gently presses you back down to the bed where, like, Borg kind of shuffles slightly, but it continues sleeping. He is clearly conked out from said narco stabbing. And as you look around the infirmary, you see that all the other beds are full.
I am both comfortable and also uncomfortable at the same time. I'm not sure how to phrase this. Also, why are there so many people in these beds?
She looks around. She goes, oh, well, something's going on here in Temptation. I reported into Vance earlier yesterday that there had been sort of an uptick in violence in the area recently, a couple more violent outbursts. And also, well, looks like she's going to point over to one of the beds where you see a man and a child sort of like also sharing the bed, both of them sweating profusely. And slightly to the left, you're going to see the grumpy sniper that Vance encountered, whose name you do not yet know. But he is sort of sitting there at the side of the bed nervously. You know, he has a book, but it's untouched. And you see that there are a couple other people. As you look around the room, there are a couple other people who seem to be in similar conditions as well.
Do I recognize these as people who are part of Vance's holding, or is it like predominantly Troca members, or is it like a mix?
I don't know if Sydney in particular is in a position to recognize anyone.
Okay, I do have to know who is around on the regular so that I can avoid them better.
Oh, true. So, the three in the husbands and child across the way, they're new. You don't recognize them. So whether they came in on Troca or what, you don't know. A lot of the people who appear to be in for injuries appear to be Temptation Hold folk. And a lot of them are minor injuries. Like nothing seems to be life-threatening, but everyone there is narco stabbed, so they are all like just high out of their minds right now. There's a lot of like soft giggling and like what you think is like a pale facsimile of singing is happening in a corner. Someone's just kind of like, ooh. We're just sort of like making oohing noises in the corner. And you recognize those folks as like Temptation Hold people, you know, people from the marketplace, people you've seen before, maybe. No Troca people.
Okay. Well, I know I'm like injured and something, but I really gotta take care of warning AZ Honey and maybe Vance. I don't know if Vance knows what's going on. Actually, how long have I been sleeping?
She goes, I mean, it's morning, and you came in here last night. Someone brought you in.
Right, and there was a weird assassin lady in my room, and she jumped out my window, and I have to order a new one. So if you'll excuse me, and he like rolls off the bed.
The assassin lady is why you were stabbed in the first place.
Exactly.
Do you really think it's safe to go back there by yourself with a weird assassin lady running around?
Sydney is rolling off the bed, but of course he does not have full control of his body yet, so it's just like face first onto the floor.
You kind of like the rest of you kind of melts off the bed.
Yeah, I'll be like, I guess it's probably better off if I put my plants.
And you'll hear Honey is looking down at you sort of pityingly almost and says, well, you made your bed, I guess you'll lie in it, and walks off. Leaving you on the floor.
Sounds right.
Yeah. And you're down there for a little moment. You hear a couple people, you know, shuffle like around the infirmary. You hear people sort of like a couple groans of pain and that sort of thing. Typical infirmary noises. And maybe after a little bit, you feel a pair of very strong arms reach down and pick you up and sort of pull you back into the bed before rolling back over.
Oh, thank you, suspiciously strong arms. I'm assuming it's Borug.
You assume correctly.
Oh, hi, I guess. Thanks for, you know, protecting my plants.
I think you mostly did that yourself. I just kind of got stabbed.
Well, Thanks anyway.
Well, you're welcome anyway.
Okay, so here's the plan. You gotta get me out of this infirmary. Do you see how many people are around us right now? There's at least 4.
That is a lot of people.
Exactly. So we get back to my lab, we fix the window, we figure out who the assassin lady is, then we tell relevant people who the assassin lady is, and we let them deal with the problem.
That sounds like a plan.
Exactly. Yeah.
Once we get out of here, yeah. How did we get here?
An excellent question. I haven't figured out the details yet, but
All right. Well, as soon as you know, let me know. All right. And we will cut over to Vance and Vector waking up in Vance's suite. What does this look like?
I think Vance probably has more than one like bed type arrangement. But like I think they would have given Vector whatever the nicest one is. Then I think Vance gets up early and kind of goes about their business. Although I also think as soon as Vance heard about Sydney, they would be there.
All right. We will get to that for sure.
Cool.
Yeah. But so what does it look like, you two? Vector, what are you doing now that you're waking up in, I suspect, relatively unfamiliar territory? You know, Vance is in home field advantage, but what's going on in your head?
I think I tend to sleep pretty lightly, but also, like, when Vance offered me their bed, like the nice bed, most people would be like, no, I'll take the worst bed. Z was absolutely like, no, I'm okay, perfect. I'll be there. Cool. Catch you in the morning.
And Vance knows this about Zier.
Yeah. So I think I'm waking up kind of as Vance is getting up to like start their day, but very much like staying asleep to see what I can hear, because I know that the assistant comes in every morning and like gives a report, and I'm like, I want to be there asleep. I used air quotes for the listening audience. Asleep when when Vance gets their morning report, because information is a weapon. So,
Damn.
Let's see. So, sure enough, throughout Vance's morning routine, at a certain point, Violet knocks on the door, and she comes in and she goes, Captain Holliday?
Yeah.
We had a bit of a situation last night.
What happened?
Several bar farts broke out across the district, and we suspect they're connected, but we haven't the foggiest as to how. But also, it looks like in that commotion, someone broke into Sydney's lab. Both Sydney and your new friend Borug are currently in the infirmary.
Tell me everything else later. And they're gonna go to the infirmary.
And so leaving Vector behind.
Yeah. Violet will hang out.
All right, Vector, what are you doing? Are you gonna follow, or are you gonna chill there for a little bit with this new information?
Is Violet staying in the room, or is Violet like immediately leaving?
Violet is pretty much immediately leaving to go back to her room.
Cool. Then I think like after a reasonable amount of time has passed, I'm gonna get up and like slip on like a jacket. I think I'm gonna go to Vance's closet and like look for something that's like blend-inable. That's how that word would work. Yep.
Correctly, Vance has a whole slew of like very similar looking suits.
Yeah, it's they're like a Steve Jobs-esque, like I don't want to have to think about what I wear in the morning, so I own the same suit in multiple iterations.
I think I like. How tall is Vance?
They're like 5'11".
Okay, cool. Vector is way more slight than that, so I'm I'm gonna toss on one of the like suits, which is probably pretty baggy on me, and like I was wearing leggings by the time the night was over yesterday, so like probably just a suit jacket over leggings over the corset that I wear, which is a look.
That is a look.
And then I'm gonna like try to like slip through the crowd and try to be as inconspicuous as possible, making my way back to Troka because I want to let AZ Honey know about Barug.
Great. So I feel like this is a roll, and so let's say you're doing something under fire. Not that you're like under attack, but let's see how you handle like trying to keep your cool in disguise, trying to get back to somewhere in a hurry.
Sweet. So that is plus cool. My cool is +1. That's also my most interesting stat, my highlighted stat from Vance. So marking improvement. This is understandably cool. And I'm going to roll this die. That is a 4 total.
Ooh, mark improvement. You are bad at stealth. This is the equivalent of you being like, I'm stealthy as you walk through a crowd, trying to blend in. You are not blending in very well. I think your natural, very garish tendencies are there. And you're also like, you're wearing a suit with a corset and leggings. Like, I think people are stopping to compliment your outfit and then to be like, oh, aren't you Vector?
I get distracted by pretty people really easily. So I think that also happens that I like back into a cart of food, like knocking a cart of food over.
Hear someone go, my cabbages, in honor of Avatar. But yeah, a couple people are definitely trying to get your attention, not just for like social purposes. Like some people are like, oh, please come check out my stall and my wares, and a couple people, are like very actively just like, oh, you're Vector, well, and very clearly trying to get Zira's attention for sexual things. I don't know why I said it like that, but yeah, so people are flirting with you. What do you do?
I think I let myself get sidetracked by a beautiful non-binary person who happened to be in the streets, and I was like, well, I have 26 minutes, let's go. And I'm gonna not make it on my mission to tell AZ Honey. I'll make it eventually, but I got distracted.
Yep, no, you got distracted. And you run off with a lovely non-binary folk named Burdock.
I don't know that name. I didn't ask.
Sure, but they sequester you back off to what was the name of the inn? The Bumblebee, where is it? The Bumblebee Canister. There you are. So you find yourself back at the Bumblebee Canister with a lovely sex worker. So go ahead, if you have it, remove 1 barter.
I don't remember how barter works for the Meister D. Oh, I have 1. Yep.
Yeah. So go ahead and remove 1 barter for now.
Perfect.
Probably some jingles, or probably some keys. But yeah, your attention is taken. So we will shift over to Vance, who is now bursting into the infirmary, where Sydney and Barug are sort of like, both of them kind of look up, and you see Gale, the sniper, look over at you as well.
I'm going to just beeline it over to Sydney and put my hand on his shoulder and just ask what happened.
Right on the knife wound.
On the other shoulder. I'm going to press my fingers. No.
Well, I think I got stabbed. Well, actually, that's pretty obvious. I definitely got stabbed by some weird hooded character who burst into my lab. It was very rude, honestly. Usually people knock. Is it a new person to Troka, do you think? Or to Temptation, rather?
I'd like to think that we don't have any assassins who live here normally.
Yeah, I get the feeling that we're a pretty safe space on a pretty regular basis. This sort of thing seems to happen more when Troka's around. But I don't think it's their fault.
I don't think so either. I think there are a lot of plates in the air right now. Are you going to be okay?
Oh yeah, I was actually trying to tell Honey Malone to let me go, but she was like, your legs are like jelly and you won't be able to get anywhere. She was right. She's usually right.
She is. You should stay here.
Okay.
And you'll hear Honey go, he'll be good to go in a little bit, just not right away.
Oh,
Thank
good.
you, honey. I'm gonna turn to Borug and ask if he's okay.
Borg's gonna nod and he'll say, well, Sydney took good care of me.
Wow. I'm glad. Do you know? I suppose you probably don't, but you don't happen to know who attacked you both, do you?
Couldn't get a beat on them, no.
Hmm.
They're really good with their knife work is really, really good, and he will reach into his pocket and pull out one of the knives that got thrown at him.
Uh-huh.
And he's gonna hand it over to you because I suppose this is evidence.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to go look into this further. You know where to find me if you need me.
Mm-hmm. I do. Thank you so much for your hospitality, Vance.
Of course. I'm going to just kind of make eye contact with the sniper and do like an acknowledgee nod. And then I'm gonna go to Chogen.
So you head on over to the barracks, and there's Chogan and your gang. They're all packing up and ready to go for the day. Unless I missed my guess, I didn't listen to the previous session, but were you all gearing up to go to American University, perhaps?
We were, but Vance is not convinced that's the best thing to do right now if there is an assassin loose in Temptation. So they're gonna go up to Chogan and get right to it. Do you have folks to spare for a search of the compound?
And Chogan goes, certainly. How many do you need? We're your gang.
I suppose that's true. However many you think you need. Did you hear about what happened last night?
Chogan nods. Says, yeah, Violet came down and grabbed me before they went up to you. So we are ready to conduct an investigation.
That would be great. I have one of the weapons and they'll pull out the knife that Borug gave them.
And Chogan's gonna look it over and goes, huh. You don't find craftsmanship like this anywhere short of Hightown Market.
Huh. Do you need this, or do you mind if I hang on to it for a little bit?
All yours.
Okay.
I mean, I'm assuming, as per usual, you'll be the head of the investigation. We're just your arms and legs.
Indeed. I suppose the person has gotten away by now, but let's do a sweep just to make sure.
We'll keep an eye out for fancy knives. Any other details you can give us?
Oh, this is where I remember that I didn't actually ask anybody anything about the person.
All right. Vance is pretty impulsive, but you all have different parts of the story.
No one seemed to be able to get a good handle on it, but I suppose keep an eye out for anybody who looks a little bit too nondescript.
Oh, good call, boss. I mean, that's probably a good feature for an assassin.
I would think so. I'm going to follow a few other leads.
All right, we'll do. Well, we'll let you know if we find anything. Whole gang's out to investigate today.
Thank you. Yeah, the trip to American University is on hold for right now.
Excellent. Then we will stand by on that.
Thank you.
All right, so let's cut back over to AZ, because eventually, probably about 26 minutes later than Z intended, Vector enters Troca and finds you there.
So, Vector, you piss anyone off at High Market lately?
Probably. I piss a lot of people off a lot of the time.
Well, one of them broke into my room last night, so I would appreciate it if you kept your getting pissed on to yourself.
I mean, there's a lot going on right now. We're not going to be hanging around the area for long. We need to get on the road as soon as we can to head over towards... I think we're heading towards American University. I think that was the plan. But speaking of, your friend, Sydney, got hurt yesterday. and Borug as well. There was an attack in Sydney's laboratory. I overheard Violet telling Vance this morning. They're in the infirmary, but I think they're both okay.
Any details on who did it?
I know literally nothing. I was on my way over here as soon as I heard with absolutely zero distractions.
Uh-huh. I think I need to go talk to Vance and Shogun about that. There's a chance that these are all connected. I don't know. This lady, Lily, she wanted to know about you and Vance, so I'm guessing there's something going on with both of you.
Great. Well, it's about... Oh my god, it's before 9 a.m. That's hideous. How did we do this? Okay. I don't know how people get out this early. But regardless, noon, we're leaving. So be back by noon, or I'll pick you up on the return trip.
Great.
See
you.
No, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, see you.
Okay. Listen, seriously, if you're keeping anything from me, I need to know. I'm here to keep you safe, too.
I actually don't know if I'm keeping anything from you at this point. It was mostly the eggs.
Great. Also, my visitor dropped off some eggs, so you're all set on that front.
I am so glad you got some.
Thanks. So I think I want to go find Vance and have a chat with them.
Great. So yeah, you encounter Vance. If my timeline is correct on this, let's say you encounter Vance just as they're leaving their armory, whereas Chogan is also in the room gearing up the troops for the day.
Yep. Hey, Captain, got some questions for you.
Sure. What's up?
Any reason anyone from Hightown might have a problem with you?
That's where I'm from. But I
all right.
Thought I left on okay terms. You know what's? Why do you ask?
Does the name Lily ring any bells?
No, who's that?
Is Sandra O an appropriate pop culture reference in this timeline?
We can say you describe her.
I describe her.
And Vance, you remember that hotel in the inn? There's a person whose name you did not ask.
Stop reminding me. Yeah, I met her yesterday. She said that she was from Speakeasy.
Yeah, so it turns out she's actually working for Jacqueline Phan at the moment.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
What did she ask you about other than me?
She wanted to know about the details of you and Vector's relationship, which TBTH I am happy not knowing, so couldn't really say much.
Let's keep it that way.
Great.
It's funny that you mentioned Hightown Market because I suppose this is your area of expertise, and I pull out the knife. You don't happen to know anyone who makes these or uses these? Chogan said that they're from Hightown Market.
Do I happen to know anybody who makes or uses these?
I would say not anyone who makes them off the top of your head, but you've seen many Hightown quality weapons make their way over to the Junkway before. And so, like, to you, this is like someone showing you a number 2 pencil, you know?
Right. Yeah, this is definitely Hightown. What's this from?
This is what Sydney and Boru got attacked with.
That was the other thing I came to ask you about. How are they doing?
They're fine. They'll be okay in a couple hours. That's strange and disconcerting.
Yeah.
That these two things seem to be connected somehow.
Is there any chance they're trying to take down Temptation instead of just you? I don't know why they would go after Sydney or Borug.
No, from what it sounded like, they were going after Borug and Sydney got in the way.
Great.
But I don't know enough about Borug to say what connection he might have to all of this. I don't know why anyone from Hightown Market would have a problem with temptation. I'm frankly not that important.
Well, Jacqueline Phan definitely has questions about you and or Vector. And it sounds like some other folks are getting caught up in it as well.
Is there anything I should be immediately worried about other than that? Is anyone in immediate danger other than, I suppose, Sydney and Borug?
It's really hard to say. Lily, did you say that she was staying here, or was she just passing through? What'd she tell you?
She had a hotel room booked, and she said that she was moving here.
All right.
Right, she said that she was moving here? Okay, cool. Just making sure that I remember correctly.
She's a person to keep an eye on, and she said that there were others also working for Jacqueline, also staying here, but she didn't give me their names. Not enough eggs, I guess. Never mind.
Well, thank you for telling me. I think we need to ask Borug what his connection to Hightown Market might be.
Yeah. Is he still in the infirmary?
Yeah.
Great. I will head that way and stay out of trouble. And it sounds like Troka's going to be leaving around noon, so we'll be putting some distance between us.
All right.
I'm going to head to the infirmary to talk to Borg.
Wait, Vance, are you going with them or no?
I mean, we did just say goodbye to each other, but Van's kind of like, I kind of wanted to go too, so I'm going to walk behind them.
Okay, so you're coming too. Great.
We do that for the second time in this campaign.
I mean, it's a very splitty party campaign. So
Yeah. I did mean to go there with you. I suppose I should have said that.
No worries. That's good.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Yeah, Sydney, you watch as now Vance returns, also with AZ Honey in tow.
Oh, great. Are you guys here to finally spring me?
Not quite.
Oh, man.
You'll hear Honey Malone go, he's free to go if he can walk.
Excellent. I'll, roll off the bed again onto my face and then just, slowly push myself up.
Yeah, you're gonna watch as Borg scoots over and, helps you up and will, if you need to, carry you. Carry you.
Thanks. I knew he was useful keeping you around.
Glad that situation's working out.
Have you guys figured it all out who tried to steal my plants yesterday?
Are you sure that's what they were trying to do?
Actually, I'm 95% sure. Those plants are pretty valuable.
Perhaps we should go somewhere more private to have this conversation.
Oh, I like those words a lot.
Should we go back to Sydney's lab?
Yes. An excellent suggestion.
Vector, I'm trying to think of a way, just for total transparency, to get you to the lab. I've been trying to figure out how to get all four of you together.
What if on our way to the lab, it's closer to noon and AZ Honey says, hey, Troka is gonna leave, by the way. And then we
board Troka for privacy as it leaves.
Well, there was a location where AZ Honey and Vector had a private conversation, right? It was, so we could potentially go there. It's not as ideal as my laboratory, but anything is probably preferable to the hospital.
I also can rationalize a way to get over there. I can make that happen.
Okay, let's all go over to the lab. Vector, I think as it's getting closer to noon, you're like, where's AZ Honey? We got to get ready to go. And Polexina will be like, I heard they went over to Sydney's lab.
I think I'm asking Polexina where Borug went. And I think she's like, oh, Sydney's lab. And I was like, and that's where AZ Honey is going to be too. Cool. I'll go over there.
That's where all the players seem to be headed, playa. So,
predictable.
So Z heads over. As the three of you plus Borug are approaching the door to Sydney's lab, I think Vector appears around the other corner.
Can I be in the room already? Sitting on Sydney's bed Or like some plants, like the plant bed that Sydney made?
Yeah, go for it. You can already be in there. I mean, there's no like lock picking in this game, so like probably wasn't even locked last night after me and Borg were mysteriously taken from there to the infirmary. So
Oh, Vector, is nothing sacred?
Yeah, not a cool move, my friend.
Well, I suppose it's good you're here. There was someone in the lab last night that tried to take some plants, and word is you've got some good information, so you might be able to help me figure out who it was.
Yeah, I've actually got some questions for Borg. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, kid, but you may not have been the target.
Oh, that's a little preposterous, don't you think?
Why don't I just chat with our friend for a moment, and I'll get back to you.
Oh, all right.
yeah, so Borg looks at the four of you and is sort of like, ask away.
Is there any reason folks from Hightown would be looking for you or want to do you harm?
From Hightown? No, I don't know anyone from Hightown Market, no.
Does the name Lily ring any bells?
Not really, no.
All right.
Where are you getting these questions from?
We're just trying to piece things together. A woman named Lily, who's working for Phan, visited me last night asking questions about Vance and Vector, and we're trying to figure out exactly how the break-in here last night ties into that. Because it looks like, yeah, this is the knife we found.
So you think these two events are related?
Lily did say that there were more people working for Jacqueline here, trying to gather information.
This may be a rude question, AZ, but how do you know they were telling the truth?
I'm good at reading people.
Okay. For instance, did she say her name was Lily?
Sure did. I paid her an egg for it.
How did she say it?
Like, thanks for asking. Literally no one else has. It's Lily.
Okay. then I guess her name is Lily. I don't know any Lilies, but I know people who use many names.
Well, maybe that's one of them, but that's all we got to work with now.
And you think this Lily is connected to the people the person who attacked me and Sydney?
I'm going off the information that she is working for Phan, and this knife is definitely Hightower made.
Oh, well, that's a good lead. No, I don't know anyone named Lily, but is she staying around here? I mean, I know you all were pretty suspicious of me when I sort of showed up here. Were there any other people who showed up around the same time as me?
Many.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't there that you left us at one point in the bar, Vance, and I'm still a little sour about it, but wasn't there someone you had to meet?
There were a few people
what
that
did
I met.
Jericho say? Didn't we have something to tell us?
Jericho gave me a prophecy that leads me to believe that the new arms dealer that we saw at the bar yesterday is not to be trusted, and that certain other newcomers are. And then I met several folks who are moving to Temptation, one of whom was, now I know, Lily, who apparently very much wanted to speak with me and was waiting for me to arrive.
Oh, Lily was waiting for you?
Yeah.
Man, this person sounds suspicious, despite being named after a pretty plant.
Well, and what's very strange is that she told me that she was from Speakeasy, which I suppose could still be true. But what is someone from Speakeasy? Why are they working for somebody from Hightown Market? The leader of Hightown Market, in fact.
She did say that working for Jacqueline was a temporary arrangement. She said or at least it sounded like she worked for whoever had the coin.
Man, I wish my spy network was online. But even without that, aren't you from Speakeasy?
Yeah, I am from Speakeasy, which is one of the reasons why we're going to be getting on the road, because there's a lot of people from Speakeasy who have appeared in Temptation recently, and I don't want to catch up with any of them.
Borg, what did the person who attacked you look like?
I didn't get a very clear look, but I think I noticed their eyes were very strange. The sclera was black and they had sort of veins going along.
Oh, fuck.
Like Sandra Oh.
No, like Snow.
Snow?
An arms dealer who moved to Temptation, who Jericho warned me to watch out for.
Great. What do you know about Snow?
Honestly, not very much. We were supposed to chat sometime today, but I don't know if they're still staying in their room or not. I suppose I could go find out.
Yeah, we should check. I gotta go find out if she did steal anything. I don't think she did, though.
Sounds like there are a lot of questions.
Can I trigger a move?
You absolutely may. Whenever y'all want to trigger moves, let me know. I'm not prompting y'all that often, so please feel free.
I have a move called Everybody Eats, Even That Guy. When you want to know something about someone important, your call, roll plus hot. On a hit, you ask the MC questions. On a 10 plus, ask 3. On a 7 to 9, ask 1. So I'm going to see how this goes. That is a 7 on the dice, plus my hot is 2, so that's a 9.
A 9, so you may ask one of those.
When next should I expect to see them?
When next should you expect to see them? In regards to Snow or to Lily?
Snow. I'm trying to track Snow down.
When next can you expect to see them? Probably at the Bumblebee Canister fairly soon, if you go there.
Great.
I think I can also trigger a move here. Could I see the knife that was used to stab both me and Borug? Stab twins! Because I have things speak, so whenever I handle or examine something interesting, I'd say something that stabbed me is pretty interesting. I can roll plus weird, and on a hit I can ask the MC some questions. So...
Yeah, I'll hand it over to Sydney.
Alright, here goes. That is a 6 plus 3, which is 9, so I get to ask one question.
What is your question?
A lot of these are like, what has been done most recently with this? And it's like, obviously stab. Let's go with what strong emotions have been recently nearby this?
Aside from ouch, I've been stabbed, my favorite
aside from that one.
I think, amusingly, the answer is still in the same vein. You're getting a lot of killing intent from it. Like, there is some definite... But the thing about it is it's not like hatred. This is not a blade wielded in hatred. It is a blade wielded with precision and a level head and a distant mind. That's not a strong emotion. It's like or I guess if there's emotion from it, it's just business.
So it's kind of like cold, a little icy. All right. Well, at least it wasn't personal, I guess.
Sorry, icy like snow. That was very good.
It's like we're writers and we like themes.
It's like Dungeons that's the point of this podcast.
The leitmotif is eggs.
Okay, so I'm just going to lay all of this out for us. So we have a person who I feel very certain is both an arms dealer, newcomer to Temptation, who I was told to watch out for, who has now stabbed my best friend.
Best friend status.
Vance did not mean to say that out loud. It's fine. So we have this person. We have this Lily person who wants to know about me and about Vector, who seems to pose some kind of danger, if not directly, certainly indirectly. And perhaps these two things aren't connected, but they both certainly are troubling.
We know that Lily is staying at the hotel, at the inn, which is the last place that you saw Snow, correct?
Yes, I think the next move is to go check that out.
Yeah, as loath as I am to admit, we probably should check her room, right?
I think so.
Maybe she's left something behind.
Vance, are you taking off with Troca, or are you sticking around?
There's an assassin in my hold.
Sorry, I meant Vector. V names. Ah!
Look, one of the best fighters I've had in a while got stabbed on his first night in a place I dropped him off. Normally I couldn't give less of a shit, but also my bouncer and him are friends, so, you know, I'm gonna say we can delay leaving for a few hours, but by nightfall, we're on the road.
Dungeons and Drama Nerds is produced by Todd Brian Backus, Percy Hornak, and Nick Orvis, and is mixed and edited by Anthony Sertel Dean. Irremediably Home, our Apocalypse World campaign, features JonJon Johnson as the writer and master of ceremonies, Percy Hornak as Vance Holliday, TP Huth as Vector, Ella Mock as AZ Honey, and Dex Phan as Sydney Thorpe. Find us on Twitter and Instagram at DN Drama Nerds and on Facebook at Dungeons and Drama Nerds. For cast bios, head to our website, dungeonsanddramanerds.com. Tune in next week for a new commentary episode.